Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am super glad to have you here today. Now you might be looking on the screen being, oh man, he's just flying a Cessna. Well, this is not just any Cessna. This is a really cool freeware airplane that just came out on the 19th of November 2022. And this is the Cessna Remis 172. I believe they were made in like the late 60s, early 70s. As you can see, we got a slightly different cowling. We got a constant speed propeller. And under the hood, it should have a 210 horsepower engine. So this is not your normal 172. And I've flown it for a little bit now, maybe an hour tops. Yeah, and it performs a lot better. It's a pretty sweet airplane. Also, we can open up the doors, the windows, put pitot tube covers on, chocks. We can do all kinds of cool things with this airplane. And then today, we have left the snowy hills of Idaho, and we're not down in New Zealand. We are in Hawaii. Right now, we are in Molokai, and we're going to be heading over to Kahului, if I have that pronounced right. I believe it's the Maui airport. It's PHOG, so Paul Henry Ocean George. And right now, the one we're at is PHMK, so Paul Henry Mary King. And yeah, so that's enough talking. Let's go ahead, hop in the airplane, go over some cool features of it, and get on our way. Alright, so here we are inside of the Cessna 172 Remis. As you can see here, it is called the Remis Rocket. Here we are inside of it. We just shut the door. We'll leave the windows open for right now. First things first, if we click down here, we got our handy little book. This is how we control all of our features. So we can take the wheel fairings on and off, wheel chocks, external covers. You can have it set up for skydiving, which it pulls out the seats. And if we pop outside, we got this cool little step right down here. So it actually does that, which is kind of neat. But I'm not looking to do skydiving today. We can also just remove the seats. I don't know, maybe we want to role play doing a ferry flight from California to Hawaii so you might want to take the seats out to have those extra fuel bladders so you can make it. We can also have this flip up checklist box so that way you can make sure you did everything. And then you can have this handy dandy checklist card that sits up on the dash. We will use this for our flight today. It even has a reference page, which is super cool. We'll put that back on index, put it away for now. And then various stuff is just various clutter in the cockpit. So we got this little bag, probably a camera bag, water bottle, VFR map down there. Just some extra stuff. And you can also save the current configuration. So we'll put that away. And we'll leave those windows open for now. Why not? It's a little toasty today. So we'll go ahead and do our checklist. So pre-flight inspection, we did remove everything and it is complete. Passenger briefing, we are the passenger, so that is done. Seatbelts are adjusted and locked. Doors are closed and locked. Brakes, we got the parking brake set. Circuit breakers are in. All of our electrical equipment is off. Avionics are off. Fuel selector is set to both. Firewall's already in. Then cowl flaps, I don't know where they are. In real life, it's been probably like 5 years since I flew a Cessna. And I've searched around the cockpit. It's probably right here in plain sight, but I don't know where they are. So we'll just skip cowl flaps. We'll flip the beacon to on. So throttle, I never touched it from when I just landed, so we'll leave it. Should bring us right up to 1,000 RPM on startup. Mixture is idle cutoff. So then standby battery, we need to hold for 20 seconds. So let's get our watch ready. And there's 50 seconds. So now we'll wait 20 seconds. Oh, I'll let go of it on accident. Oh, man. I'm struggling with this. Okay, so now we're at 00 seconds. 5, 10 seconds. 15. And 20. We're good there. So prop can go up to high. It's already in. Then we can arm the standby battery. It comes up to arm. PFD fires right up. Then you're looking in here. I got manifold, oil pressure. Yep. In here, we're looking at volts. We got at least 24. We are discharging 5. And we have on the M bus less than 1.5. So we're good there. Standby battery annunciator is on. So then what we can do is turn on the battery master and alternator. Bring mixture up to rich. And then we'll give the fuel pump, leave it on for 3 to 5 seconds. So we'll just do 4. So 1, 1000, 2, 1000, 3, 1000, 4, 1000. Turn it off. We're pretty much at sea level, so we'll just leave mixture all the way in. We got our parking brake set, so we are ready to go on the brakes. And now, we'll fire this bad boy up. Yeah, there we go. And that should warm up to right about 1000 once the engine gets running. Oil pressure is in the green. Amps, we're up to 28 volts and 20 amps each one, so we're good to go there. Low volts are off, and we can flip the avionics on. Wing flaps are up, so we are good to go there. So we'll go ahead and get these windows closed. That way we can hear ourselves think. And then I'm going to go ahead and just put our flight plan in here. It's going to be a VFR flight at 1,500 feet today. So I'm going to do this real quick, and I'll see you guys as we get ready for takeoff. Alright, so here we are on runway 5, and we are ready for takeoff. So we're just going to hold down the brakes for a second to bring in the engine up, and now we'll just bring it to full throttle. And at about 55 knots, we'll go ahead and start pulling back and try and get airborne. 55, and we're off. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up our flaps. And now we will work on just trying to maintain roughly 85 knots. I did just fly in the opposite way of this route we are currently doing. So Maui direct over here. And it is very windy and very turbulent, so I'm expecting it to be about the same. And we are going to bring the prop back to 2,500 now that we're in the climb, and we're going to try and maintain. Oh, and I wanted to level off at 1,500, so let's go ahead and pitch down, bring the throttle back to 20 inches of manifold pressure. There's 20. Well, I think I just said bring the prop back. Bring the engine back to 20 inches of manifold pressure. Props down at 2,500. And let's take a look at where we just left. Yeah, we did a nice circle. We want to start going this way. We're trying to save on some of the turbulence. We're going to try and maintain a good portion of the flight over water, because it is extremely turbulent and extremely windy out today. We are not using real-world time, but we are using real-world weather for this flight. That's normally what I tend to do, especially down in New Zealand. I'll use daytime hours, but real-time weather just works out so that way I can see everything outside, because that's the fun part of flying, right? Especially in a little Cessna like this. You know, you want to look outside the window, actually see everything, see how pretty it is. Especially a part of the world that you don't live in, or even sometimes if you just want to like check out where you do live, it's fun. So now that we're in cruise, we'll go ahead and bring the prop back to 2100. Maybe we'll bring back to 2200. Yeah, 2200 and 20 inches of manifold. I think that'll be good. Let's get our checklist, make sure we're doing everything. So in-flight climb, we did it about 85 knots. We brought the prop back to 2500. We did not bring our power back. Cow flaps, I don't know where they are. Mixture's full rich. We got our landing lights on. Mixture, we're below 3000, so we don't need to worry about leaning it. In-flight cruise, we want 15 to 25. We're right at 20. And we want to be between 21 and 2700. Elevator trim we're working on, but we're getting bounced around. All that's good. And then we don't need descent for a while. But yeah, so this is actually a really cool airplane. And once again, I think I said it in the beginning, but this airplane's free. It's on flightsim.to. I believe it just got put on there today, November 19th, 2022. And so it's a free airplane. I believe it's only for the G1000. I don't know if they have a steam gauge one. I can't remember. And so we kind of went over the checklist in the little book, but look at this. The sunshades move, which is awesome. And it's kind of like the FlySimWare 414, which is even cooler, because I really love the fact you can actually angle them in just about every different direction that your heart desires. I love that. So I was really glad to see that this plane implements that same thing. Other cool features is here on the G1000. We're going to do very poorly at maintaining altitude. So you know what? Just so that way I don't like crash us into the ocean while I'm trying to show off this airplane. Let's go ahead and get this up. We don't want to be at 2500. That's not what we want. We want to be at 1500. 1500, 500 feet per minute, and then heading, let's sync this to our current heading, and yeah, just keep flying that way. That'll work. Yeah, so with the G1000 here, so as you can see, we got our manifold pressure, RPMs, which we could bring that back maybe one click, add 2 clicks, so we'll do 2 clicks will do the trick. Got our fuel flow, oil pressure, oil temp, EGT, vacuum pressure. The fuel gauge is a little funny. The fuel panel up here shows we can hold, I think it's like 50 gallons a side or something like that, but the gauge only goes to 20, well, to 30, so it just shows that we're full, even though we don't have 100% fuel. Come to engine, go to lean, you can actually see the cylinder temps. Well, I guess that's the external gas, well, the exhaust gas. There's your cylinder head temperatures, which is cool. Your fuel flow, once again, fuel pressure. Then under system, I feel like this page is fairly standard. Nothing super cool to like report on that last page, but I do like the fact, I do really like this screen right here. This is nice. I don't know if it's like that in the default 172. I think I've maybe flown it twice. Otherwise, pretty standard, run-of-the-mill G1000. Nothing really to report there. But this is a super awesome airplane. It sounds good. It handles good. Like I said earlier, it is a little rocket ship. It has so much power. Really fun to fly. I was just messing around with it earlier, and I think there's at one point in time I was doing a climb of almost 4,000 feet per minute. So it's got lots of power. Also, I do want to address, because someone will probably either say it in their head or say it in the comment. I do know I used the wrong phonetic alphabet earlier. I am aware. I used to use the right one because my background was aviation, and then I went to my last job before my current job. They use a different phonetic alphabet, and after doing that job for 4 years, I've slowly switched to the other phonetic alphabet, and I gotta try and relearn the NATO phonetic alphabet that we use in, like, pretty much everything else. But now that that's over and done with, airplane's super cool. It's modeled well. Circuit breakers do not work, but I mean, standby battery works. These switches work. These ones, your knobs, everything works. I think it's super cool. To get your little booklet down here, you got to click the little spiral on the side. If you want to see your co-pilot, oh, you know what? I don't have any weight in the co-pilot seat. If you had weight in the co-pilot seat, you could see your co-pilot. Same with the pilot. We'll go ahead and slap these fairings on and hop outside real quick. So headphone users, beware. See, look, now we have the wheel fairings on the airplane. But we can come back in here. We can get rid of just the nose one. We get rid of all of them, which is how I like to fly it. And so it's actually really cool. Really neat airplane, and it's free. You really can't beat that. I'll try and remember to put the link down in the description. For now, I will continue on because, I don't know, don't really have a lot of super awesome things to talk about today. I just saw this airplane, really wanted to make a video on it to show you guys the airplane. And so we will kind of just cruise now, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit later. Alright, so here we are, closing in on our destination. It's really pretty. I've actually never flown around here. As we get ready to come into land, we'll go ahead and run through our checklist, so we're good there. Now our in-flight descent, which will pretty much be non-existent, because we're at 1,500 feet. Power is as desired. Make sure it'll be adjusted. Cow flaps, don't know where they are. Altimeter is set. Altitude select. We're going to fly it manually once we get a little bit closer. Don't need. Fuel selector is still set to both. And wing flaps will be as needed. Forward landing. Seats are good. Fuel selector's already on both. Mixture is rich. Cow flaps we'll forget about. Taxi landing are on. Autopilot will get turned off. 12 volt is off. Radios are good. ATIS is good. The normal landing is put the wing flaps down. Final approach at about 65 to 75. Touchdown on the mains. Lower the nose. And braking is minimal. And we'll leave after landing till we need it. So now what we will do is we'll adjust our heading to fly a bit more towards land now. And as we just fly in, let's kind of chit-chat a little bit with you guys. I did learn that after the most recent sim update, my computer reactivated DLSS with my graphics card. And I've noticed, since I've deactivated it now, it seems like I do get a little bit choppier frame rates than I did before, but for some reason my DLSS will make these screens kind of grayed out, and then all the digits will just blur together. Like this, you just see like a weird blur of 199. That pink line like wouldn't change. When you make a left-hand turn, you just see a streak from the airport go by. I don't know why it does that, but for whatever reason, my computer does not like DLSS. I have my NVIDIA graphics card updated, my Intel. All my Intel stuff is up to date. Flight Sim's up to date. I don't know what the issue is. So I turned it off. That way we could have a actual, like, readable, functioning G1000. I did try it in other airplanes. I tried it in the Kodiak and also in the, shoot, what was that other airplane? I think it was the, no, it wasn't the 208. It might have been the normal 172 I tried it in as well. I can't remember. I tried it in 2 other airplanes, and the G1000 was still all weird. So I did put it just back on. I think TAA is the one I set it to, but I got rid of DLSS just because it messes with the screens. This airport that we're flying to, I believe it's pronounced Kahului? Oh, now I'm not going to remember it. However it is pronounced, and I know I will mess it up if I keep trying. This one right here, PHOG, that's where we're going to. We will be seeing this airport again in the future on another video. I'm not going to release too many details about the video, but it will be involving the A310 by any builds that we got in the most recent update. And it is going to be a 3 or 4 part video series, because the route I am planning, excuse me, that was weird, excuse me, the route I am planning is a very long route, and I do not have the time to sit and fly that all at once. So we're going to break it down over 3 or 4 parts. But we will be coming back to this airport in the AnyBuilds A310. I'm not going to make any promises as to when that video is going to launch, but it'll be in the next week or 2 as I have time, and we'll get those 3 or 4 videos out as I can. But I'm really looking forward to getting that video out, doing the whole series. Really looking forward to that. We're gonna leave from I think any builds did the scenery. I can't remember. I have to look up who did the scenery. But we're gonna leave from another payware scenery. We're gonna work our way down here to Hawaii, and we're gonna go to a freeware airport that I found, and then we're gonna go to one of the Microsoft airports that they did back during one of the world updates. It's going to be a really cool flight. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to take a long time, which is why it's going to be a 3-part series, and it's going to be spread out probably over the course of a month, maybe a month and a half. Really depends just when I have the time with work and a kid and, you know, just daily life. That's one of the biggest issues I usually run into, because I'd like to make more videos for you guys, but life has a way of preventing me from making videos sometimes. But once again, that's life, and we will overcome and conquer. I wasn't even planning on making a video today, but then I saw this airplane on flightsim.to when I was just browsing through, and I was like, you know what? This airplane just released. We're going to make a really quick video on it and see what you guys think. But yeah, we are coming around the corner. It looks like we are 11 miles out, but we do got a 20 knot headwind. That's kind of slowing us down. Once we come around the back side of this hill, mountain, whatever you want to call it, We'll bank left, start heading to the airport, and we're pretty much already facing the direction we want to face. As long as the winds don't dramatically change in this little valley here, we're pretty much good to go. Field elevation, I want to say, is about 400-ish feet. So we're at 1,500, so we're pretty much already at pattern altitude, which is beautiful. Let's zoom in just a hair. I think we could go ahead and turn on course. I think we would be a-okay, and we're not gonna hit the side of this mountain. You know, we'll just turn to the edge of the green, because that's my main concern, is those windmills. I'm sure we would just fly right over it, or we'd just thread the needle between those two, but I guess we should try and be responsible pilots for a change. We don't need to thread the needle if we don't have to. That's what the PC-21's for, right? Which, if you'd like to see a video on that, I do have the Iris PC-21. That's a fun little airplane too. I've flown that one around, just kind of goofing off, trying my best at like acrobatic maneuvers or some combat maneuvers, I guess you could say. I'm not the world's greatest pilot at doing that, but it sure is a lot of fun. Yeah, this is also a fun airplane. The other cool thing is, like a real Cessna. Watch this. We can open up the windows in flight, just like a real Cessna. We can cruise around with the windows open. It is 21 degrees after all, so it is a little toasty. We'll just go ahead and close those, that way we're not making it too loud in here. And then now, if we take a look, that is our runway. So since we can see the runway, we're going to go ahead and bring the prop back up to the top of the green. It's right there, about 2,500. It's pretty much good to go. And we're going to say goodbye, autopilot. We don't need you anymore. We don't need autopilot where we are going. And I'm just going to tune in back to COM 1, see if we can't hear anyone on the radio, because we do have AIG Traffic up. So, who knows, we might come across another airplane. But now we are on a very long final, and we will slowly get there. Alright, so here we are, right about on final, like, I'd say probably an average length final, not really short, not really long. But on a final for runway, looks like runway 3 here in Maui. Looks like we got some Southwest Airlines aircraft over at the gates on our left. And as I was telling you, it is very bumpy and very windy here. Pretty much both islands we were at today are very turbulent and very windy, so we're going to do our best not to break anything. I think it might be a little bit of a challenge because we were getting just thrown around. I'm sure you could see that as we worked our way to our current position, just how bouncy it is. Here we go, coming up on the numbers. It's runway 2. And we got a little bit of a crosswind, but pretty much a headwind. We're not doing full flaps for this landing, just because I wanted to keep our speed up. That way we weren't slowing down too many airliners. We need to get towards the end of the runway. So we'll kind of just let her float on down. And now we're getting close. Pitch the nose up. And any second now, or maybe not. There we go. Not the world's greatest landing, but I guess we didn't wreck the airplane, so that's a positive, right? We didn't wreck it. And apparently I, at some point in time, hit the parking brake. Oops. So we might not have wrecked the airplane, but we probably need new tires. So after landing, cow flaps, once again, we won't worry about it because I don't know where they are. Wing flaps are up, landing lights we need on for now, taxi lights we'll leave in the on position. Strobes we will get turned off once we turn off the runway. So now, turn over here, that way we can get over to the ramp to park.
Maui Tower, Alaska, 82120 miles southwest,
And
ILS Yankee runway.
let's just go to COM2. That way we don't gotta hear them. Alright, so now we are off of the runway. Let's go ahead and kill the strobes, kill that, and we don't need the taxi light actually. It's pretty nice out. Oh, look at that. Looks like we got some marshalers. So next is the parking checklist, which we'll go ahead and turn off our number 2 avionics. Let's see, which way are they facing? Okay, so they're facing, we got his back to us. So we want to come down here just a little bit. Around the back of this 208, it looks like. Slow up. And that'll be nice. Use the marshal to guide us in instead of us just trying to wing it. Alright, so let's bring our speed down just a little bit. We should clear that 208 with no problem. Get plenty of room. And now let's see where, there's our guy. So it looks like he's going to put us on this tie down backwards. That's helpful. We'll just tie the engine down where the tail's supposed to be. Alright, let's pop up a little bit. That way we can make sure we see everything. Make sure we're not going to run over his toes. We don't want to run over any ground crew today. That would be embarrassing. And there we go. Alright, so we'll set the parking brake. I just want to bring the engine back up to about 1,000. There it is. And now for our parking checklist. We actually want to idle the engine. So idle, kill our avionics bus. And then we bring the magnetos down to off. And mixture can go to idle cutoff as well. And then, man, that prop is really spinning. There we go. So ignition is off. Landing lights are already off. Nav light and beacon can go off. Then we can turn both of those off, including our standby battery. And we'll go ahead, open up the door and the windows. And then one thing we can do is let's go ahead and have the ground crew put our chocks out, and we'll have them go ahead and tie us down. That way we don't blow away. Alright everyone, well that was our flight today. I'm thinking this is going to be a fairly short video. If you guys like the video, let me know down below in the comments. If you don't like the video, please let me know. If you dislike the video and don't let me know what you don't like, I can't make them any better in the future. And I'd like to make the videos better for you guys. Wow, this guy's walking right in front of us. Doesn't he know we put this camera here? Well, anyway, once again, I appreciate you guys. I know I say this every video, but I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for checking out my channel. If you like me, consider subscribing. Like the video. If you don't do any of that, leave me a comment. Leave me a comment why you did or did not like the video. It's all helpful for me just to try and get better. Anyway, thank you once again, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next couple videos. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to making the videos with the new AnyBuilds A310. We will be back at this airport in that aircraft. And just some of the things I'm working on for the future. I'm super excited for those videos to come out and to give them to you guys. But until then, we must say farewell. And once again, thank you guys. All of you are awesome. And I can't wait to see you on the next one.